Hola, my name is Lisa and I'm back. Back. Yes, who's back? Um, this video is just to give a little bit more information regarding my previous video. For those that didn't know, I recently posted a video and it was just an explanation of why I had stayed off of social media due to a recurrence of breast cancer diagnosis. I was originally diagnosed in 2016. The reason I found out I had breast cancer was because I was in the shower, and I still remember it clear as day. I did a self-examination, and I think I hadn't done one in a while, but I had just had a 45th, 46th birthday. When you get to a certain 40, you just start kind of forgetting. But I do remember that it was February and my daughter was going to be 21, and I was just for some reason saying, getting older, start checking yourself. You never get that mammogram. And when I did, I found what felt like a little pebble. I had my mammogram and ultrasound, and they couldn't even find it, to be honest. It didn't show on a mammogram. So ladies, please, 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 just always check yourself. Don't wait for the doctors, don't wait for a mammogram. And if you can't, don't even get a mammogram. I'm not a doctor, I'm not telling you what to do, but most women have very dense breast. And if you see what a mammogram does, all it does is put pressure and squeezes the breast. If you can, and if you feel anything, try to get an ultrasound. Even try to fight for an MRI if possible. They will give a lot more information. And I just feel it's better. That's my personal opinion. Like I said, I'm not a doctor, but if you are and you do feel like you feel something, get the ultrasound or get the MRI if you can. Even with the ultrasound, I had to show them where it was because the tech couldn't find it. The doctor had to come in. A week or two later, I ended up having a biopsy, and that's when I was diagnosed with invasive ductal carcinoma, estrogen and progesterone positive, HER2 negative. One of the scariest days of my life. And not even for myself. That's the crazy part. When you're diagnosed and you have a child or family members, sisters, especially when you're the oldest, I think, or just anyone, probably anyone, you want to protect your family. You don't want them to worry or be scared or think you're going to die, or you don't want to die, and it's just so much. But it sucks. It fucking sucks. And unless you've been told that, there's no way to really explain it. Your mind just goes 10 million places. What I decided to do was just tell my best friend so that she can go with me. And then I spoke to my ex, my daughter's father, because we're not together and for years, but we're very good friends. We're still family. He's remarried. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But my daughter was away at college, and he said I'm so glad I did speak to him. He was like, why don't you wait till you get all the information, because they're going to ask you a bunch of questions like I'm asking and you don't have the answers yet. So I decided to do that. And then I waited for her to come home for break, and it was one of the hardest days of my life, between that and telling my mom and dad and sisters. But anyway, we move forward. Crazy part is, the doctor, till this day I still remember, she told me, well, if you're gonna have cancer, this is the kind of cancer I would want to have, or you would want. I'm like, I don't think anybody wants to have any kind of cancer. Yeah, you don't want it to be terminal, you don't want it to be this or that, but no one wants cancer, because that means it could still come back at another time. But anyway, no PET scan, just let's do a lumpectomy, let's save the breast, and all this and that. And just, I appreciated the support and the comfort, but it gave me so much comfort that, being new to all this, I didn't ask many questions. I didn't get more opinions. I just wanted it out. I wanted it the fuck out of my body. And I think listening to other survivors and warriors and sisters that fight through this, you realize that that's the main thing. especially if you don't have a history of it. There was no history in my family of breast cancer. I didn't have any friends that went through it, so I didn't know, get another opinion. And even when I did start trying to, the first thing they said, okay, well, we need all your discs, all your CDs, all your slides, all your records. And that's not the easiest thing to get. And on top of that, you're scared because you're like, you see all these shows, all these things on TV of people dying and getting diagnosed and the cancer spreading, and it's scary as fuck. And all you think is you just want to live and be there for your child and your family. So I went by what the surgeon said. I felt comfortable with her, and I read about her. She had great reviews and was a great surgeon. And I had the lumpectomy, and then I had so much confidence in her. I said, okay, well, send me, who do you think I should see for an oncologist? She sent me to her colleague, who I first was comfortable with, but then, anyway, that's another story. But I just didn't feel a good connection. Like, I didn't feel like I felt like everything was, okay, this study shows this, and the book says this, and this is that, and that. And I just, the whole time, I felt like I was just like everybody else. And I'm not, no one is. Everybody's case is different. As far as I know, they never checked or sent my specimens to see which chemo would react best, or they just said this is a chemo for this type of cancer, CMF, 8 sessions. And then she's like, oh, this is a good chemo. It's not the kind of chemo that makes you lose weight or lose all your hair. It just thins. It was like everything was like a sales pitch. And it's still fucking poison in your body. Anyway, I did the chemo. I did radiation. I ended up having issues with my hands, and joints and pains. I became menopausal. And then they wanted me to do the hormone therapy. I did that for a while, but it was horrible. I did a Arimidex, just Google it and you'll see what I had to have. Injections in my hands for carpal tunnel, for trigger finger. I would get up, I would feel like I was aging by 30 years. My joints hurt, my knees hurt, my feet hurt. My emotions were all over the place. But I pushed through. After a while, I just stopped taking the meds. I just didn't want to do that to my body, and I started working out and trying to take better care of myself. But unfortunately, in July, I had a mammogram and an ultrasound. Everything was negative in 2018 of July. And then I went back in January of 2019, and they found another little lump. Go figure. Anyone that knows cancer cells take a while to progress and to become a tumor. So the cells, I guess, decided not to make themselves known during the the mammogram or the ultrasound I had in in the summer of 2018. But when I look back, I never saw them test me or give me the blood test for my tumor markers. I look now, I even checked back. All she ever did was regular routine labs. I've never had a PET scan until I fought for one during my second diagnosis. So there's a lot more to this, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of background on how I originally got diagnosed and what it was like and why I made the second video. Because I think God does everything for a reason, and He blessed me enough to let me find it the first time when it was just, I think, 1 centimeter. This time it's 4 millimeters, and so far what I'm doing is working outside of what they think I should be doing. So, but this is how it all began. This is where my journey began when I was first diagnosed. And I did everything the way they wanted me to do, just how they believe. Surgery, chemo, and radiation, and then drugs. And yeah, I didn't follow their protocol. I didn't take the medication for the whole time they wanted me to take it, and it did return, but that was my personal choice. I don't blame them, but I do feel that if I knew more, or if I researched more or had more knowledge, it might have turned different, or maybe it wasn't supposed to turn different. Maybe I wasn't supposed to beat it the first time the traditional way. Maybe this was a wake-up call to change my way of living, to be healthier, to eat better, to be more consistent with my mental, spiritual, and emotional health. Because I truly believe that cancer just does not feed off of your physical body. It's a combination of everything: your mental health, your spiritual health, your emotional health. And you have to combine all those things to properly heal. So, like they say, there are people that live to be 105 without cancer. They drink, they smoke, and they laugh their ass off every day, and they don't stress at all. So it could be any factor. And there's no family history of cancer in my family. So, but that's the beginning of my story. That's where it started. So I just wanted to share that. And if anyone has any questions, or if I can give you any comfort in knowing that you're not alone, and there are other ways to try to treat yourself and heal yourself. Put God first. If you're not spiritual, put yourself first. Love yourself just as much as if you did believe in God and the higher being. But above all, be your biggest advocate. Research, Google, and don't let anyone make you feel like you shouldn't have questions or you shouldn't have doubts of what they're telling you. It's your right. It's your body. You know your body and your mind and your heart better than anyone else. And I truly believe that it was me knowing and God telling me not to just do whatever they say this time. The first time I did, but this time I'm not. I'm going to do everything I need to do for myself. And if I somehow don't make it happen that way, then I'll just pray on it some more and find a different way. All right. God bless. And like I said, don't lose faith. Don't lose hope. Our bodies are amazing, amazing, magical beings and machines. And I do truly believe we can heal ourselves with the help of other things, nutrition and natural remedies, but we can help heal ourselves. Sorry, anyway, it's past my bedtime because I'm usually about to turn in now, but I just wanted to share this with you guys. So if anything, I'm here. And to all my warrior sisters and fighters, we got this. We're not going anywhere. Cancer is just a diagnosis. Our bodies will be healed. Through God, all is possible. And just believe in yourself. Blessings. God bless.